With the introduction of the Old Peace quest, we got introduced to a brand new Warframe, Uriel. Now here's the thing, there's a huge problem with this Warframe. Uriel is the newest addition to the Warframe lineup that we have, making him the 63rd frame. And now before we get into his kit and everything, I'm going to show you how to acquire him because it's a little bit more complex than we've seen throughout the rest of Warframe's history. So upon completing the Old Peace quest, you're going to go up to your navigation and you'll see right here, instead of going into the normal navigation with X, you're going to press F to go into the Dark Refractory, which opens up two new game modes essentially, the Parada Rebellion and Descendia. So Descendia is this new Dante's Inferno style system. Weekly resets and you go through 21 levels. So I haven't done any for this week, but at the end, you fight Roth, who is the Gemini skin or the Gemini frame, proto frame, whatever you want to call it, of Uriel. And it's basically a boss fight, and that's how you get the blueprints for everything. And then there's also the luck currency, or the unluck currency as people call it, or whatever. So you can actually buy the blueprint. So Uriel is very unique. And you'll notice I have my companion behind me, as well as these three other companions, I'm going to call them. They're not necessarily companions, but for lack of a better term, that's how they function. You also see we get this new UI over here, which is the health bar for each of those three demons. So Uriel's passive is a little bit strange. We have summoner frames, but this isn't exactly a summoner, even though he has extra companions. So there's three demons, which you'll see here. Setanach snares and slows enemies, chaining them together, dealing damage to any target in the chain is inflicted to all ensnared enemies. So this is, I'll get into the synergies later. And then you have Gulfagor, I guess, latches onto foes, dealing damage over time. So that's your dot. And then you have, oh god, Vithalius, which basically puts these runes up all over the place, and when you collect the runes, it makes your weapon fire heat damage instead of whatever weapon bullet type that you have. So each one of these demons does a different thing, and they're all tied to different abilities. So if we come over here, you can see I've not done anything, and they're already going in and attacking and doing damage. So this is incredible because I've not used a single ability. I've not even drawn my weapon. And these guys are already taking care of everything, already chaining the enemies, already doing damage, already getting some kills. Like it's a bit ridiculous. And then, so this is another thing with Uriel that is crazy. So if you activate his one, which basically it's kind of like so with Sevagoth, except it does heat damage as well. But if you're in the one and you dash, now we have probably the best mobility frame in the entire game. Because this will go basically forever. It's based off of the ability duration. So however long this ability goes for is how long, and obviously if you hit the ground, but you can go right through the enemies and deal a ton of damage. And you can also jump to get out. And so these are the runes that I was talking about here. So apparently I've already gone through one, but now you can see my, let me switch weapons real quick. So yeah, you can see both of my weapons now are going to do fire damage, or heat damage rather, regardless. And if I'm not mistaken, those runes are available to everyone. So if you're playing with a party, everyone has the ability for this. So let me get these guys back up. And we'll talk about his full kit. So, Infernalis is his first ability, manifests an aura of flames, inflicting heat damage and status effect on nearby enemies. This is one I've already shown you, but basically it's like so for a Sevagoth, except it also does heat damage. This one is honestly pretty incredible. This should be up at all times while you're playing. Moving on to his second ability, Remedium. So Uriel heals himself and his demons. This is another one that you should keep an eye on. So I'll show you really quick. Obviously, we have the health bar for the demons, so this just heals them up. But if you pay attention to my shields, when I press this, we get invulnerability for a second, and we max out overshields. So this is one that you constantly want to pay attention to your shields, and when you don't have overshields, just go ahead and press your 2, and you can keep your overshields up constantly. Going into number 3, Demonium. So this is the one that is, I wouldn't say confusing, right? So this basically just makes all your demons work for you. So if you press 3, it's just carnage. And then if you pair it with your 1 and then the 3, everything just explodes. And then the 4th ability, Brimstone. So this one is where stuff gets absolutely just completely out of hand. So you see the bar that's underneath of our demon's health. When that gets full, it catches fire, as you can see. But then you come over here, and when I press 4, now the entire map, basically, it's based on your range, but I've seen people get range that is just way too far. But also, you'll notice that there are no enemies in front of me anymore. None of them. So let me reset these guys, and you'll notice that now I can't press the 4 anymore because the ability's not ready. So we're going to go 1, 3, and you'll see that meter starting to fill up. So now our meter's full. Come over here. I'm going to reset all the enemies. I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to press my 4. And they're gone. Obliterated. So now, obviously, these are only level 95 Steel Path enemies. I'm MR13, but that still says a lot. I've not fired a single shot. I've not primed them. I didn't have to prime them with 1 and then the 3 and then the 4. Literally 1 and 3, and then when your bar's full, you press 4 and wipe the map. That's it. So this is why I said that there's a problem here. And this isn't just with Uriel. This is just the most extreme case of it. But like if we go into Noko, right? The other new frame from this year. So we throw down the 1s, throw down the 2s, you bounce on the 2, and then you press the 4. And then you sit here for a little bit until everything dies. We're getting red crits for 1.3 million. I don't want to say power creep, but the new Warframes from this year are absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, is this a problem? I wouldn't say it's exactly a problem, right? Because the point of the game is to be fun. And I think for a while, Warframe did fall into a category of too grindy to be fun unless you were min-maxing everything. So it does make it more fun for the casual players, but you do have to be quote unquote end game to get access to this. So it's kind of a give and a take, but I think that we're starting to see a really big problem with power creep. Because like it would be cool if that was it, right? He was just a nuke frame. Cool. He's a really good nuke frame. Awesome. But now I don't need to play Gauss anymore because this is faster. And I've seen people do crazy parkour speeds and they're crossing the Eidolon in like 5 seconds. It's crazy. Every frame doesn't need to do everything. You can have a jack of all trades, but you shouldn't have a master of all trades. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? So like, let's take another frame, for example, Nezha Prime, right? I love Nezha. I've arguably been a Nezha main. Nezha's a really good nuke frame. He's got really good mobility, but he's not the mobility frame, right? Like I'm not going to pick him over Gauss. Am I going to pick Uriel over Gauss? Probably. Am I going to pick Uriel over Nezha for a nuke frame? Absolutely. So now it's like we're almost making other frames not useless, but kind of pointless. Like this is crazy. I'm glad this is in the game. I wish that this was his helmet ability, but you know, I think then it would be a little much. But like, there's really no need for this. This is crazy. And so let me try this without a build. Here's my build, by the way. It's not great, but it works. Growing power, augur reach, augur secrets, nearest hatred, intensify, Carnus carapace, prime continuity, gladiator resolve, archon vitality, running a bellicose, so that way all the extra health converts into strength. This is probably one of my favorite arcanes in the game. And then camisado, however you say that. So obviously you want to have a max rank of this, but attacks from summon minions increase ability strength. This does count for the demons, even though they're not quote unquote summoned, they still count towards this. So this is a fantastic arcane to throw on Uriel. We're going to go with an empty build, nothing, against the same level 95 steel path enemies, and we're going to see what happens. So same thing, the 1, your 3, maybe not knock myself down, but I just want to get the 4 up really quick so that way we can see the difference between a decently modded one versus out of the box. Like, having everything chain like this just with the minions out is incredible. Because it's more or less like the Divine Spears augment, but all of the time. And you can also fly through these guys to inflict heat damage too, which is like, it's just crazy. So I think, and I haven't tried this yet, but I feel like if you find an ability that you could Helminth off, which arguably could be 2, but that's your survivability. So I would argue against that. But if you did want to Helminth off the 2 for like pyrotechnics or something, I think this build could get absolutely ridiculous. Just because of the way that pyrotechnics procs heat. All right, let's check out this 4. Nothing else. We're just going to pop the 4. Oh my God. It's too much. It really is too much. And like, I'm all for a nuke frame. That's the main reason that I like to main Nezha, because what's better than just nuking a whole map? But that was ridiculous. Straight out of the box, no mods, press the 4, map's gone. That shouldn't happen. And I think that's my biggest issue with this whole thing. I love the frame. I love the new game modes. I love the lore that we got with the old piece. Uriel, I don't want to say he's going to be my new main because I hate maining new frames. But it's really, really hard not to take him into a map. You need mobility? Perfect. If you need to nuke, perfect. If you need good survivability, perfect. Doing Descendium on Steel Path, I just unlocked Steel Path, so I'm not super built for it, and I do struggle on some of the nodes. But I did Descendium Steel Path in one shot with Uriel because he just flew through the fucking map. It was insane. And if you get a lot of range on this, and that's what I've seen a lot of people do, they just build for range only, and then a little bit of strength, and you can cover the whole tile set for Descendium on most cases. And you hit your 4 and the whole map is done. It's out of hand. It really is out of hand. And I don't have a problem with it. I think we're going in a good direction with the design of the frames. I mean, they all look incredible. It's really hard to fashion frame these because you don't need to add a lot, which I like. But with the kits, they're really, really good. And I don't think that that's a problem. It's just starting to get, where do all of these other frames come into play? Why would I want to run Excalibur right now? Why would I want to run Caliban? Why would I want to run Gauss even? I know there's certain cases where, yeah, maybe you want to take Cyto 9 in because you need ammo or whatever else. But like, this is insane. It is absolutely insane. But anyway, that's my TED Talk. I know it's been a while since my last video. Had family in town for Thanksgiving and then Christmas. I just wanted to be able to get something out for you guys. low effort in the edit here, but just for a time thing, I want to be able to put a video out for you guys. And if I don't have another one out for you guys by then, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you guys celebrate. Hope you guys have a great holiday season with your family. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.